So what if I told you the story of creation isn't actually finished? Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving deep into a mystical secret, one that's hidden right there in the opening pages of Genesis. A secret that says the universe was left incomplete, on purpose, and that it's our job to finish it.
You see, the whole grand story of creation, this epic symphony of light and life, it ends with these really strange Hebrew words, Asher bara Elohim lasot. And what does that mean? Literally, which God created to do, or to make. It's like the biggest cliffhanger in history, right at the end of the beginning.
I mean, think about that for a second. After God looks at everything and declares it very good, the text turns around and says the job isn't quite done. Now, this isn't some cosmic typo. It's a deliberate choice in the design, and it's this very question that unlocks a door to the hidden architecture of the entire cosmos, a mystery the Zohar just dives into with incredible depth.
Okay, so here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll look at the puzzle itself, this idea of an unfinished universe. Then, we're going to witness the exact cosmic moment when creation was put on pause. We'll explore the ghosts that got left behind in the system, and you'll be surprised by their real job as agents of judgment. And finally, we'll look at the glitches in the blueprint and reveal the incredible work that was left. Well, it was left for us.
All right, let's start at the beginning. We'll begin with the simple meaning, what the sages call the pshat. You know, before you solve a puzzle, you've got to get a good look at the pieces right there on the surface.
So, the pshat, the plain, literal meaning of the text, that's our starting point, and it immediately confronts us with a massive, glaring contradiction.
On one hand, you have this huge declaration of total, absolute perfection. It was very good. Mic drop. Done deal. Nothing more to add. But then, just 2 verses later, you get this phrase about incompletion, that there's still a task left. It seems to be saying 2 opposite things at once. That creation is perfect and complete, but also, there's still something to do.
And these aren't just, dusty old theological questions. They force us to rethink everything we thought we knew about good, about evil, and about our own role in the universe. This is what sets the stage for a much, much deeper dive into the operating system of reality itself.
So now we're going to peel back a layer. We're moving beyond the simple text and into the remez. This is the level of hints, of illusions. The text itself gives us a clue that lets us zoom in on the exact cosmic moment that this unfinished state was locked into the very fabric of reality.
I really want you to try and picture this. We're in the final moments of the 6th day of creation. The universe is still brand new, still cooling down. All these cosmic processes are running their final lines of code. The light from the very first sunset is stretching across this new world. We are in the twilight zone, between creation and rest.
Now, the Zohar tells us that in these last few seconds, a wave of beings started to emerge from what the mystics call the cosmic left side. This is the source of pure din, of strict, unfiltered judgment. So this wasn't some gentle act of creation, this was raw power being made manifest.
And what exactly are these beings? Well, the ancient texts call them spirits, demons, mischievous entities. The best way to think about them is as souls, whose spiritual blueprint was being formed, but their physical bodies, their containers, their vessels hadn't been created yet. They were literally halfway into existence.
So just as these raw spiritual beings are mid-formation, this boundary in time just descends like a curtain across the entire cosmos. It's a totally different kind of event, a new dimension crashing into reality, the holiness of the very first Shabbat.
And this, right here, is the crucial moment. Creation didn't stop because it ran out of energy. No, it was intentionally paused. The Zohar is explicit. He was in the middle of creating them when the holy day arrived. The sanctity of Shabbat acted like a universal stop command, freezing these beings right where they were, incomplete, souls without a body.
Okay, so to really understand the mystical mechanics here, to get to the sod, or the secret level, let's use a modern analogy. Let's think of creation as a divine operating system being booted up for the very first time.
You see, that word, la'asot, it's the key to everything. It's telling us this isn't a bug, it's a feature. It's like a computer program that was specifically designed to be left running in the background. The system was built from the get-go to have these potentials left open.
Now, what's so wild about this is how it reframes these beings. They're not mistakes. They're not rebels. They are persistent system artifacts. They're like orphaned processes left over from an interrupted installation. And as we're about to see, the divine programmer doesn't just delete these artifacts. He repurposes them.
So what is their purpose? What do these ghost threads actually do? Well, they're not just random bits of chaos. They have a very specific function, and they come from a very specific location in the cosmic blueprint known as Jevu-Ra, the divine attribute of strength, of judgment.
In the Kabbalistic map of reality, everything is held in balance between two core forces. You have the right side, which is Chesed, that's all about boundless mercy and giving, and then you have the left side, which is Gevora, that's about strict judgment and limitation. And these unfinished beings, they are 100% products of that left side, pure, raw, unfiltered judgment energy.
The mystics even talk about this in terms of color. The white represents the spirit, the pure, unbounded soul. The red represents the vessel, the body, the limitation. In a perfectly balanced creation, the white is contained by the red. But these unfinished beings, they are dominated by that raw, untempered red of Gevora. They are pure judgment without a body to balance it out.
And this isn't just random. In the mystical blueprint, Gevora is the 5th of the 10 divine emanations. And so this number 5, it becomes a kind of cosmic signature for this raw power, marking these forces as the agents of cosmic limitation.
So, and this is the crucial point, these beings were repurposed. Their original creation was halted, and they got a new job description: metaphysical agents. They became the instruments of cosmic justice, the spiritual code that ensures that in this system, every single action has an equal and opposite reaction.
Okay, I know this is a really deep, ancient idea. So to make it really click, let's translate it into a couple of modern frameworks that can help us see it in action.
Okay, for the kids and all the gamers out there, think of it like this. The universe is a level being loaded by a divine game engine. But just before it finishes rendering, the timer runs out because Shabbat, the end of the level, has begun. What happens? Some of the enemy NPCs, the spirits and demons, only partially spawn. They're like glitches, just souls without a physical model. And now, they act as these environmental hazards or punisher mechanics that only get triggered when a player breaks the game's rules. They're not evil just for fun, they're a programmed response.
All right, now for the adults, the cosmic engineering analogy. Creation is a massively complex system being deployed from a divine blueprint. But an intentional system-wide shutdown, Shabbat, is initiated before the deployment is totally complete. This leaves all these leftover artifacts and orphaned processes in the system's memory. But here's the absolute genius of it. Instead of being deleted, these artifacts are repurposed. They become the system validators, the correction mechanisms, the very agents that maintain the system's integrity. Nothing is wasted.
And all of this, all of it, brings us right back to our original question and the ultimate point of this whole cosmic structure. Why? Why leave it unfinished? Why build a system with these ghost threads and glitches running in the first place?
And here it is. This is the deepest secret. Creation was left to do so that humanity could become partners in its completion. That is our fundamental purpose. The universe wasn't handed to us as a finished product. It was delivered as a divine project, and we are the designated finishers. You know, the sages teach that there are 3 partners in creating a person: the Father, the Mother, and the Holy One. But the Kabbalah reveals there's a 4th partner: us. Our role isn't just to continue humanity. Our role is to perfect the entire cosmos. We are the system administrators, the debuggers, who are tasked with resolving those orphaned processes we've been talking about.
Our job is called Tikkun, which means to repair, to refine. Every single ethical and spiritual act we perform, every moment of true compassion, every act of justice, it's not just a personal achievement. It is a cosmic event. These actions generate a kind of spiritual energy that helps to clothe these bodily spirits, to balance out their raw judgment with mercy, and to slowly, piece by piece, complete the work that was paused at twilight on the 6th day.
So, this leaves us with a final, profound question. Could it be that the evil and the chaos we see in the world aren't actually an opposing force, but that they're simply the raw, unrefined material of creation, just waiting for us to pick it up and sanctify it? The work is waiting to be done. Thank you for joining us for this complete journey through the Pardes. We hope these ancient truths help you and your family improve your own dimensions this week. If you enjoyed this full chapter deep dive, please like, subscribe, and share which part of the journey touched your soul in the comments. We'll see you in the next chapter.